What's up guys, I'm Cadet Ramos and now I will tell you what a muster station is and procedures to follow in emergencies and importance of training and drills on board. So, a muster station. A muster station is a designed area on a ship where crew and passengers gather during an emergency. It is marked with signs and must be known to all on board. During drills or real emergencies, people must go to their assigned muster station immediately to receive instructions and prepare for evacuation if needed. So now let's tackle emergency procedures. First is fire alarm. A fire alarm is a continuous alarm indicating fire. So for crew members assigned to the fire, their response would be to locate the fire and determine its severity. Second is use available fire extinguishers, fire hoses, or fixed firefighting systems. Third is wear firefighting gear including self-contained breathing apparatus, SCAVA if needed. And ensure the fire does not spread by closing fire doors and dampers. So for all other crew members, their job is to move to their assigned muster station unless assigned firefighting duties. Second is follow instructions from officer in charge. Third is keep clear of firefighting operations and avoid unnecessary panic. Now let's go to general alarm. For general alarm, it is a series of short blasts followed by a long blast signaling an emergency. So the procedures here is for all crew members. Immediately stop working and proceed to the assigned muster station, wear life jackets and prepare emergency equipment, and await further instructions from the bridge or commanding officer. Third is in case of abandoned ship. Abandoned ship alarm. 7 short blasts and 1 long blast indicating evacuation. The procedure here is the crew must gather at their assigned muster station, wear life jackets and survival suits if necessary. Third is prepare lifeboats and life rafts for launching. And follow the command to board the lifeboats in orderly manner. Carry emergency supplies such as water and food and communication equipment. So for the passengers, they must stay calm and follow crew instructions, move quickly but orderly to their muster station, and wear life jackets and board lifeboats when instructed. Fourth is man overboard signal. Man overboard signal, this is 3 long blasts to alert the crew that a man went overboard. So the procedure here is first is the immediate action. The nearest person must shout man overboard and point towards the person in the water. Second is throw a life ring or floating object to help keep that person afloat. Press the MOB or man overboard button on the navigation panel if available. The bridge and rescue team. For the bridge and rescue team, the bridge team must initiate a Williamson turn or other maneuver to return to the person. Second is deploy rescue boats or lifebuoys with attached lights. Third is maintain constant visual contact with the person in the water. Next is CO2 alarm. CO2 alarm is a loud siren signaling CO2 release in a fire emergency. The procedure here is for the crew members inside the affected area is to leave the space immediately as soon as the CO2 displaces oxygen and can cause suffocation. Ensure no one is left behind before exiting. Third is close all doors to contain the fire. For the fire response team, confirm all personnel have exited before activating the CO2 system. Monitor the affected area to prevent reignition, and ventilate the space thoroughly before re-entry. Fifth is engineer's call. Engineer's call summon engineers to the engine room for urgent issues. Procedure here is engineers must report immediately to the engine room. Assess and respond to the problems. Example, machinery failure, power losses. Take corrective actions if needed. And bridge team stay in communication with the engineers for updates. Take necessary precautions if the issue affects ship's operation. So another is in case of cargo hold flooding, water entering cargo holds threaten ship stability. So first procedure is for immediate action, activate bilge pumps to remove the water, inspect the affected area to identify the source of flooding, and inform the bridge immediately. Second is damage control measures. Close watertight doors and bulkheads, use emergency pumping systems if needed, monitor water levels and stability continuously. Another is pollution prevention. Pollution prevention prevents oil spills or chemical leaks. The procedure here is immediate action. Stop the leak or spill at the source if possible. Deploy oil spill containment booms. Use absorbents and spill kits to minimize damage. Report the spill to the officer in charge. And for long-term actions, follow MARPOL or Marine Pollution Regulations and record the incident in the oil record book and then cooperate with authorities for cleanup and investigation. So lastly is for engine room flooding. Engine room flooding can cause power loss and system failures. So the procedures here is first, initial actions, identify the source of flooding and seal leaks if possible, activate emergency bilge pumps, report the situation to the bridge, and for damage control, monitor stability and remove the vessel, prepare for emergency power loss, and last is ensure that all electrical systems remain safe. The last topic for now is importance of trainings and drills. Training and drills help the crew respond quickly and correctly during emergencies. Regular practice ensures that everyone knows their roles, improving safety and reducing panic. Drills also help identify problems in emergency procedures so they can be fixed before real emergencies happen. That's all. Thank you guys.